When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. Marcus Aurelius. The Stoics understood something that most men today have forgotten. Your mornings shape your destiny. That quiet window between sleep and the noise of the world is not just the start of your day, it's where you decide who you are going to be. It's the moment where you either take command of your mind or hand it over to chaos. Most men don't realize how dangerous the first hour of the day can be. They wake up and immediately reach for their phones. Within seconds, their minds are hijacked by notifications, by other people's problems, by the dopamine drip of meaningless scrolling. They've surrendered their attention before they've even taken their first conscious breath. And that surrender, it carries through the rest of the day, into their work, their relationships, and their sense of self. But the Stoic man, he rises with intention. He doesn't start his day in chaos. He begins it in control. He uses those first sacred minutes to center his mind, sharpen his body, and reconnect with his purpose. That choice, the decision to master the morning, is what separates the man who drifts through life from the man who builds one. Here's what the great Stoics like Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius knew. Discipline is freedom. When you claim your mornings, you claim your direction. When you build your habits around clarity, gratitude, and purpose, you make yourself unshakable, because your strength no longer depends on what happens to you. It depends on what you choose to do. In this video, I'm going to share 10 powerful Stoic habits you can build into your mornings, habits that will sharpen your mind, harden your discipline, and give you the kind of calm, grounded energy that people feel the moment you walk into a room. These are not hacks or gimmicks. They are timeless principles, habits practiced for thousands of years by warriors, philosophers, and men of action. If you commit to these 10 habits, not for a week, not for a month, but as a way of life, you will change. Your confidence will grow, your focus will sharpen, and you will stop feeling like a passenger in your own life and start living as the man you were meant to be. So if you're ready to stop drifting through your mornings, if you're ready to build your life with purpose and power, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. Discipline is my freedom. Now, let's begin. Number 1. Wake up with intention. The way you wake up determines the way you live. Most men drift through their mornings like sleepwalkers. They hit snooze 3 times, roll out of bed half awake, and scroll through their phones before their feet even hit the floor. Before they've even taken a breath of fresh air, their minds are polluted with other people's noise, news, notifications, arguments, distractions, and they wonder why their lives feel scattered, why they feel reactive, why they never seem to move forward. A Stoic man approaches the morning differently. He doesn't wait for motivation to hit. He doesn't negotiate with his comfort. He wakes up with intention. Whether it's 4:30 a.m., 5 o'clock, or 7 o'clock, the exact time doesn't matter. What matters is that it's consistent and purposeful. You rise when you say you will. You build trust with yourself before the day even begins. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work as a human being. Why am I complaining if I'm going to do what I was born for?" This is the mindset you need. Waking up isn't just about starting the day. It's about stepping fully into who you are becoming. It's a daily act of discipline that builds the foundation for everything else you do. From a psychological perspective, waking up with intention is powerful because it's your first win of the day. That single victory builds momentum, reinforcing the belief that you are in control, not your alarm, not your comfort, not your excuses. Over time, that momentum compounds. You become sharper, calmer, and more disciplined, not just in the morning, but in every area of your life. And here's the truth. This isn't about waking up at some magic hour. It's about consistency and purpose. Pick a time that works for you and rise at that time every single day. Because the man who can master his mornings doesn't just wake up earlier. He wakes up stronger, And the man who wakes up stronger doesn't just start his day, he starts building his future. Number 2, no phone, no distractions. Your phone is a thief. The second you pick it up in the morning, you've handed over your most valuable resource, your attention, to everyone else. Notifications, emails, texts, social media. It's all noise designed to pull you away from yourself and into the chaos of the world. Most men don't even realize the cost of this habit. They wake up and immediately scroll, convincing themselves they're just checking something quick. But what they're really doing is training their brain to be reactive. By the time they've brushed their teeth, they've already filled their mind with other people's opinions, problems, and expectations. And that scattered energy carries through their entire day, keeping them distracted, unfocused, and restless. A Stoic man starts his morning differently. He protects his first hour like sacred ground. No phone, no notifications, no noise, just focus, clarity, and intentional action. Because that first hour isn't about the world, it's about you. Psychologically, this is profound. The first hour after waking is when your brain is most receptive, most focused, and most creative. If you fill that space with chaos, you program yourself for chaos. But if you fill it with discipline, with stillness, with deliberate thought, you program yourself for control and clarity. Try it for 1 week. Leave your phone in another room when you sleep. Wake up and don't touch it until you've completed your morning routine. At first, you'll feel the pull, that urge to just check something. That's proof of how deep the addiction runs. But the longer you hold the line, the more your mind sharpens. You'll think clearer. You'll move slower, but with more purpose. And you'll finally understand what it means to start your day on your terms, not the world's. The man who controls his attention controls his life. And it starts by protecting that first quiet hour from the distractions designed to own you. Number 3, practice gratitude and perspective. Every morning, before the noise of the world seeps in, you need to ground yourself in gratitude and perspective. Because no matter what challenges you're facing, no matter how heavy life feels, there is always something to be grateful for. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." That simple reminder is everything. Gratitude is not weakness, it's power. It pulls you out of self-pity and recenters your mind on what's real, what's constant, and what truly matters. Most men wake up and immediately focus on what's wrong, the problems at work, the argument from yesterday, the bills they need to pay. They feed that negativity and it shapes their entire day. But a Stoic man starts with perspective. He acknowledges the challenges but doesn't let them dominate his mindset. Instead, he focuses on what's within his control, and he's thankful for it. From a psychological standpoint, this rewires your brain. Gratitude activates the parts of your mind associated with clarity, optimism, and resilience. It doesn't erase the difficulties, but it gives you the strength to face them without being consumed by them. Here's a simple practice. Each morning, before you pick up your phone or speak a word, list 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big. Your health, the roof over your head, the chance to start again today. Say them out loud or write them down. Then, remind yourself of your perspective. Life is short, time is limited, and this day is a chance you'll never get back. Gratitude isn't about ignoring problems. It's about remembering that you are bigger than them. And when you start each morning grounded in that truth, you move through the day with a calm, unshakable strength that nothing can take from you. Number 4, cold exposure or breathwork. Comfort is the enemy of growth. Every morning, you need to do something that forces you out of comfort, something that reminds your mind and body that you are in control. That's where cold exposure or breathwork comes in. Step into a cold shower, plunge into an ice bath if you have one, or sit quietly and do controlled breathwork, deep, intentional breaths that demand focus and presence. It's not about the temperature or the technique. It's about the discipline. It's about proving to yourself, before the day has even begun, that you can choose discomfort and conquer it. The Stoics believed in voluntary hardship, putting themselves through controlled difficulty so that life's uncontrollable hardships wouldn't break them. Seneca wrote about eating simple meals and sleeping on hard ground, not to suffer, but to sharpen the mind against fear and weakness. Cold exposure and breathwork are the modern versions of that ancient discipline. Psychologically, this is transformative. When you step into discomfort by choice, your brain learns that fear and resistance are temporary, that you can act, even when it's hard. The first 10 seconds under cold water will always feel brutal. Your body will scream for comfort. But when you push past that moment and stand tall in that discomfort, you walk out sharper, calmer, and stronger. Breathwork works the same way. By controlling your breath, slow, deep, deliberate, you slow your thoughts, calm your nervous system, and create clarity where there was noise. It's a tool for presence, focus, and control, 3 pillars of a Stoic mind. The point isn't to punish yourself, it's to train yourself. Every time you choose discomfort, you teach your mind that you are capable of more than you think. And that lesson carries into everything else you do that day. Your work, your relationships, your decisions. The man who starts his morning mastering discomfort is the man who can handle anything. Number 5. Move your body. Your body is the vessel through which you experience everything: your focus, your confidence, your energy, your discipline. If your body is weak, your mind will follow. That's why a Stoic morning must include movement. This doesn't mean you need a 2-hour gym session every day. It can be as simple as stretching, a short run, calisthenics, or a focused strength workout. What matters is that you push your body and get your blood moving, because motion creates energy, and energy fuels momentum. The Stoics valued strength not for vanity, but for resilience. Marcus Aurelius trained his body as diligently as his mind, because he knew physical weakness invites mental weakness. When you wake up and move, you're not just building muscle or burning calories. You're sending a message to yourself: I am disciplined, I am capable, I am ready. From a psychological standpoint, morning movement is a cheat code. Exercise releases endorphins and sharpens your focus, putting you in a state of calm alertness that carries through the day. It reduces anxiety, improves clarity, and reinforces the belief that you are a man who takes action, no matter how you feel. The key is consistency. It's not about intensity, it's about showing up. Whether it's 10 minutes of stretching or an hour of weight training, the act of moving your body every morning is a daily vote for strength, health, and discipline. And here's the truth: when your body is strong, your mind follows. You carry yourself differently. You speak with more confidence. You face challenges with less hesitation, because you know deep down that you've already conquered yourself before the day has even begun. The man who moves his body every morning doesn't just build muscle, he builds momentum. And momentum is what separates those who drift from those who dominate. Number 6. Journal for clarity and focus. Your mind in the morning is like a crowded room, thoughts, emotions, and to-do lists, all fighting for attention. If you don't clear that room, the noise will follow you for the rest of the day. That's where journaling comes in, not as a trendy habit, but as a tool for discipline, clarity, and focus. The Stoics mastered this practice long before it became popular. Marcus Aurelius's Meditations is nothing more than his personal journal, a collection of private thoughts he never intended anyone to read. It was his way of preparing his mind for the day, sharpening his perspective, and reminding himself of the principles he wanted to live by. Your journal doesn't need to be poetic or polished, it needs to be honest. Take 5 to 10 minutes every morning to empty your mind onto paper. Write about what's bothering you, what you're grateful for, what your priorities are. The act of writing forces you to slow down and process your thoughts with intention instead of letting them swirl aimlessly in your head. From a psychological perspective, journaling organizes chaos. It reduces stress, clarifies what truly matters, and helps you approach your day with precision instead of reaction. It turns vague thoughts into concrete actions. Here's a simple structure to start. Gratitude. Write 3 things you're thankful for to ground your perspective. Focus. List your top 3 priorities for the day. No more, no less. Reflection. Identify one thing you need to let go of to move forward. When you finish, you'll feel lighter, calmer, and sharper. You'll step into your day with a clear mind and a focused direction. And over time, this practice becomes a record of your growth, a reminder that you're not just surviving your days, you're building them with purpose. The man who journals doesn't just write, he architects his life, one morning at a time. Number 7, visualize your day. Most men wake up and drift. They roll through their days reacting to whatever life throws at them, traffic, deadlines, arguments, distractions. By nightfall, they wonder why they feel drained, scattered, and unfulfilled. But the Stoic man, he starts his day by visualizing it. Marcus Aurelius practiced this every morning. He wrote, "Today I will meet people who are meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly." He wasn't complaining, he was preparing. He knew that by expecting obstacles, he could meet them with calm instead of chaos. Visualization is not about fantasy, it's about mental preparation. Take 5 minutes in the morning, sit in silence, and walk yourself through your day. Picture the challenges you know are coming, the difficult meeting, the heavy workload, the commute, the distractions. Imagine yourself handling each moment with discipline and composure. From a psychological perspective, this primes your brain for action. When the challenges come, and they will, you'll respond with intention instead of reaction. You'll move through the day grounded, unshaken, because you've already rehearsed your calm. Here's the beauty. This doesn't just prepare you for problems. It sharpens your focus on what matters. You begin to see your day not as a string of random events, but as a deliberate path, a series of moments where you get to choose who you are and how you show up. Visualization turns you from a passenger into the driver of your life. And over time, it doesn't just prepare you for your day, it transforms your entire mindset. You stop living in reaction and you start living in mastery. Number 8, fuel your body intentionally. What you put into your body in the morning sets the tone for your energy, your focus, and your discipline for the rest of the day. Most men sabotage themselves without even realizing it, loading up on sugar, greasy fast food, or caffeine crashes that leave them sluggish, distracted, and irritable. A Stoic morning demands intentional fuel. This doesn't mean you need an expensive diet or complicated meal plan. It means making choices that honor your body and your mind. Hydrate first thing, water before coffee. Eat foods that give you steady energy instead of quick highs and heavy crashes. Clean proteins, whole grains, fruits, vegetables. The Stoics believed in simplicity and moderation. Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." Apply that here. Your morning fuel should be simple, functional, and purposeful. Not indulgence, not entertainment, just fuel. Psychologically, this practice builds discipline. Every intentional choice in the morning reinforces your identity as a man in control. You're not grabbing whatever's convenient. You're making decisions aligned with your goals and your growth. And here's the overlooked truth. When you fuel your body with intention, you sharpen your mind, you think clearer, you move with more energy, you stay focused longer, because your physical state is the foundation for your mental state. And a man who treats his body like a tool to be sharpened instead of a trash can for convenience. Food moves through the world with power and precision. The man who fuels himself with discipline starts his day prepared, not just to survive it, but to dominate it. Number 9, read or listen to something grounding. The information you consume in the morning sets the tone for how you think, feel, and act for the rest of the day. Most men waste this sacred time feeding their minds with noise, scrolling social media, chasing headlines, or watching mindless entertainment that adds nothing but chaos and distraction. A Stoic morning demands the opposite. Start your day by feeding your mind with strength and clarity. Read a passage from Meditations, the Enchiridion, or Seneca's Letters. Listen to something that grounds you, an audiobook on discipline, a motivational podcast, or even calm, focused music while you plan your day. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself every morning that the mind is the most powerful tool a man has. If you don't sharpen it, you dull it, and if you dull it, you drift. Psychologically, this practice primes your focus. What you put in first shapes your thoughts all day long. Positive, grounding input leads to sharper thinking, calmer reactions, and more deliberate choices. Negative, chaotic input makes you reactive, anxious, and scattered. Here's a simple approach. Read even a single page of a book that builds you. Reflect on one Stoic principle you can apply today. Choose silence over noise if you can't find something intentional to consume. Over time, this habit compounds. You'll notice your thoughts becoming clearer, your reactions calmer, and your ability to handle stress sharpening. Because you're no longer starting your day with chaos, you're starting it with control. The man who feeds his mind with strength every morning walks into the world already armed for whatever the day throws at him. Number 10. Review your core principles. Every man needs a code, a set of principles that guide his actions, his decisions, and his mindset. Without that, you drift. You react to the world instead of leading yourself through it. The Stoics lived by their principles every single day, and they reminded themselves of them every single morning. This is why your morning routine should end with a review of your core values. Write them down, read them, speak them out loud if you need to. These aren't goals or wish lists. They're non-negotiables, the rules you live by, the standards that define who you are. For Marcus Aurelius, it was humility, discipline, and service. For you, it might be strength, integrity, and relentless growth. Whatever your principles are, reviewing them each morning hardwires them into your behavior. Psychologically, this is powerful. The human brain is wired to act in alignment with identity. When you review your principles daily, you strengthen that identity, making it harder to drift from your standards. And when challenges hit, as they always do, you don't need to figure out how to act. You've already decided. Here's how to keep it simple. Choose 3 to 5 principles that define you. Write them where you can see them every morning. Read them, reflect on them, and ask yourself one question. How will I live these today? This practice doesn't just sharpen your mornings, it sharpens your life. Over time, you stop negotiating with your emotions. You stop letting external chaos shake your internal calm. You move through the world with purpose, consistency, and quiet confidence. The man who starts every morning by aligning with his principles doesn't just survive the day, he owns it. And when you own your days, you own your life. Your mornings are either building you or breaking you. They are either shaping you into a man of focus, discipline, and strength, or keeping you trapped in the same cycles of distraction, chaos, and regret. The Stoics knew this, and now you do too. These 10 habits aren't tricks. They're principles. And if you commit to them, truly commit, day after day, no matter how you feel, you will change. Your confidence will grow. Your focus will sharpen. Your discipline will harden into something unshakable, and you'll stop feeling like a passenger in your own life. Control your mornings, and you will control your life. That's the promise of Stoic discipline, and it's a promise that only you can fulfill. If you're ready to claim your mornings, to build yourself from the ground up with intention and purpose, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. Discipline is my freedom. Thanks for watching Stoic Blessing, where men rise, rebuild, and master themselves.